You want to know how to hire a great virtual assistant for your online business without spending a ton of time and ending up with the wrong fit. How do I know you want that? Because I'm Natalie Lucier, founder of Access Ally, which is a WordPress-based online course membership and community solution. And I have hired my fair share of virtual assistants over the year, and our business is entirely virtual. So we have team members all across the US and Canada. And I've hired people overseas as well, so I can talk to this whole concept quite a bit. Now, here's the thing. I think a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking that what we want to hire is a virtual assistant because we've heard great things about VAs. We know that they can be affordable. They can come into your business and make a huge difference by liberating you to do more of your best work. But a lot of times we're a little bit unsure about exactly what they'll do, and we may actually want to be hiring not a virtual assistant, but someone with a different title. And maybe who you should actually be hiring is a web designer, a video editor, a copywriter, an SEO expert, or really anything that is super specific to your type of business. So the first step before you go on any virtual assistant hiring websites is to get super clear on what you need them to do and whether a regular virtual assistant or a very specialized person is who you want to hire. So the first exercise I recommend is to write down everything that you currently do in your business. So go ahead and set aside this time for the next week to just write down as you work on tasks what it is that you're working. Are you checking your email a lot? Are you responding to comments on social media or posting on social media? Are you making website updates? Are you editing your videos? Are you writing copy for your websites or for your emails? These are all the types of things that you'll want to write down and then really figure out what you enjoy doing, what you're good at, and what is more profitable for your business. So go ahead and circle anything that you can see yourself delegating or handing off to someone else. And this is really important because this will become the foundation for your job posting for your virtual assistant or whoever you end up hiring. Now, you might have a very exhaustive list. Maybe you want to give away and delegate a ton of the work that you're doing so you can really focus, say, on creating your next online course or on doing more speaking gigs. And that is amazing. But here's the thing, you as a founder might wear a lot of different hats and might have a lot of skills in different areas of your business. But when you're looking to hire, we can't be looking for a superhero type of person. We want to find someone who's really good in one area of your business. And that might mean hiring more than one virtual assistant if they have different skill sets. So you really want to think about what is the one area of the business that this virtual assistant could really own and do amazing things in, and even maybe progress and where you could promote them and have them completely run certain parts of your business. Now, the other benefit of this is it will really help you avoid disappointment from hiring the wrong person, because really you won't be able to find someone who's a video editor, a copywriter, a web design expert, an automation expert, and all of the other things in one place. And that is really a recipe for disappointment. So go ahead and make a list. If you have more than one role, that's totally fine. You might be able to hire for multiple roles, and we'll talk about how to do that too. So now it's time to put together your job listing. Whether you end up posting this to job boards or you use it on your own website or in other places, it's really important to have your role for this position defined, because you can also use it on your company's internal wiki so that as you add more people to your team, whether they are contractors or employees or assistants, they all know who does what and there's a lot less confusion. So if you have a very clear demarcation of what this role is for and what their goals and tasks are, it's much easier to onboard this person and also to add other people to your business too. Now, when it comes to writing your job description, you can put in certain types of experience that you want them to have, or maybe expertise with tech systems or other things that you use in your business. But remember, the most important thing is not specific tech skills as much as it is the ability to learn and also the ability to work with you in a great relationship and collaboratively. So a lot of times we tend to focus on specific, experience that people should have, but a lot of times it's more about cultural fit and making sure that you'll have a great working relationship with this person. And it's a lot harder to train someone on attitude and thought processes. So you really want to focus on those types of things when you are interviewing. Next, decide on your budget and hours. So now that you know what this person will be doing as your virtual assistant, it's time to figure out how many hours they will be working in your business based on how much work you can see them doing. So if you've assigned them a certain amount of tasks, you could kind of estimate how long these tasks take on a regular basis. So you might realize, oh, okay, I only need someone for 5 hours a week, or maybe you need someone for 20 hours a week. It really depends on how much workload you have and that you can easily offload and delegate. And now that leads you to figuring out your budget for this position. So there are so many considerations when it comes to budget. Are you going to hire someone more local or in your own country or state? Are you going to hire abroad and try to take advantage of different currency exchanges and things like that? There are so many options and things to consider here, and it's a little bit too much to go into one video. But if you can come up with the number of hours that you can expect someone to be working, and then also how much of a budget you have to play with, that will indicate which of these options you probably want to go with. And I will say that if you are hiring someone abroad and where maybe the time zones don't match with your time zone, be prepared for a little bit harder communications, because you're not going to be able to jump on a Zoom call if someone has a question or just get a Slack message going back and forth to solve a problem. So I really want you to consider that. Sometimes hiring closer to home is a better option, even if it is a little bit pricier. I think you also are able to get a little bit more momentum that way too. Now it's time for job postings, interviews, and making an offer. So now it's time to post your job listing. So if you are hiring locally, you might post it on your website, on social media, send it to your email list, and just see if you know anyone through your network that might be a great fit. We have hired amazing people that way, and I highly recommend it if you are especially hiring for a full-time position. But you might also want to post on specific job sites for virtual assistants, because you might find people who have the exact skills that you're looking for who are already trained in those areas. So those sites are always changing, so I'll put a list of links below so you can get an idea of what types of sites you might be considering. Now here is my biggest tip when it comes to posting a job, doing interviews, and making an offer. It's that you want to sell working for you as much as this candidate might be trying to sell you on them. And what do I mean by that is because you are probably competing with other businesses that want to hire this person too, especially if this is a very talented and in-demand person, which is probably what you want to hire, because that means you're going to have a great person who is going to come and join your team and do amazing work with you. So that means that your job posting should be really enticing and talk about the benefits that you can offer, whether that is competitive compensation or a great learning opportunity or a growth opportunity. As this person really develops at your company, you might have more promotions and things down the line that they can do too. So those are the types of things you want to focus on also in your interview. You don't want to just be drilling them and asking them a bunch of questions. You want them to really understand your company and culture. Even if you are still a solopreneur right now, you want them to kind of see the vision that you have for your business and where you want it to go, and really sell them on how great it'll be to work with you. So now let's say you've posted your job listings, you've had some applicants come in, and it's time to review. So you'll want to choose the ones that look the most interesting to you and start to schedule some interviews. Now, it's really hard to go off of just a resume or an application and an interview to decide if someone is going to be a good fit for you and the way that you work and the type of job that you have for this virtual assistant. So what I highly recommend is to have a small paid project that you might have a couple of applicants perform, and you'll actually pay them for that work just to see how they communicate with you, how they ask questions about the project, and what kind of work they can deliver. So this can be a great way to just make sure that you're on the same page, it's going to be a good fit before you actually make that offer. Now, if you do want, you could also do an extended period of this. So you might do, say, 2 months or 3 months of a trial period where you're still going to pay them, the regular salary and all the things that you are planning to offer, but there's kind of this check-in point where you can decide, yes, this is working, or no, it's not working, and we're not going to continue this relationship. So the key here is to get clear on this before you make an offer, before you start, and just make sure that they are totally cool with doing this, because if they do have maybe multiple offers or things like that, you want to be very cognizant of that and respectful. Now let's talk about the nitty-gritty of hiring. No matter which option you choose from, you will have to figure out the official tax status of your virtual assistant. So for example, if you live in the United States and you hire someone, you'll need to research and figure out if they are considered a contractor or an employee, even if they're not working full-time hours, because that changes how you pay them and what types of benefits and payroll type things that you need to be worried about. So do your research on that, and the same goes for hiring internationally. Sometimes there might be things that you can do across the border that you need to do to stay compliant, and a lot of times business owners decide that some of this stuff is too complicated and they'll hire a virtual assistant through an agency or other business where that business hires these employees and takes care of all the payroll and all of that. And then you're just paying the business for this person to come in and work for you on a part-time basis, for example. So that might be another option too, is to find a virtual assistant agency or business where you can just go ahead and sign up. You don't have to worry about all the regulatory stuff. Let's talk about onboarding your virtual assistant. So most videos and most people who talk about hiring completely miss the boat when it comes to onboarding. And it's actually, in my opinion, the most important part of hiring, because here's the thing: you spent all this time, all this energy honing in on exactly what it is that you're looking for, finding the right places to find this person, and doing all this work to kind of get them to say yes and become your team member. And then once they come into your business, you're kind of saying, okay, now go off on your own and figure things out. So what you want to do instead is to have a really good onboarding system. And really what you should have been doing is also documenting all of the processes and how you do things in your business. But if you haven't done that yet, don't worry, I have a video all about how to do that, and you'll get that in a second. But here's the thing: when it comes to onboarding, you want to focus on one thing or a very specific skill set that you want them to master first before you start adding all the other types of tasks on there. This is something I learned from Brianne Dyke, who was on the Seamless Scaling Show, and she's the co-founder of Visionary CEO Academy. And she shared this idea that I think is so brilliant and really powerful way to onboard a new employee or team member or virtual assistant, and that is to have them master one thing extremely well before you add in other things. So let's say that they're going to be just responsible for your website first. So they will maybe optimize SEO articles, or maybe they will clean up your old images. You'll kind of really get them in there and really comfortable with your WordPress platform or your website platform. And then from there, you could add another toolkit. So maybe then you add your email marketing platform, or maybe then you add scheduling on social media. So these are the types of steps that you want to stair step and really make sure they're super confident before you add another type of work to your virtual assistant. So how this works is that your virtual assistant will be able to learn very specific things and take those entirely off of your plate. So you have more and more time to focus on the things that make you money in your business and that help you really scale your business. And documenting how you're training this person as you go about is so important. So you can have your virtual assistant themselves record how they're doing things and document things in your company wiki. And if you don't have a company wiki and you're not documenting your processes yet, make sure to watch my next video all about company wikis and how to create your own. It's so easy and makes such a big difference when you're hiring someone, and especially if you hire a second assistant or you end up having to hire a different person in your team, then everything is already documented, and that will save you so much in that onboarding phase. So watch that video now.